Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to the Bass Loans Fishing Podcast. And I say welcome back, like, man, welcome back from like a year of not doing these things. It's been crazy with family. I got a promotion recently at work, which I can't complain about, but it's taken up a lot more of my time and effort and energy. And it's just been tough to get on here and do these live podcasts with you guys. And I have been getting some messages and stuff, and I'm apologize that it hasn't been more consistent. But trying to get back into it here, maybe into this next year, 2025. Got a lot of exciting things happening around the channel. First, going to kick off the year and go try to figure out Lake Havasu. We're going to be fishing the big Bassmaster event. Can't thank Bass and Steve Owens enough for coming out here and putting Havasu on the map for us, so we could at least have one shot at qualifying for the big stage. And it's going to be a good year. 2025 is going to be fun. There's a lot of opportunities. And I also got to give a shout out to like Max Lee and those guys over there that are doing the Community Hole podcast. It's just cool to see some consistency out here with the West Coast podcast. Same with John Myers and those guys over there. They do an awesome job keeping up with the times out here in the kayak community on the West Coast. Like I said, I want to do an announcement right here too. Unfortunately, the ABA, the American Bass Kayak Series for next year, is not going to have a series. We're going to kind of take a year, reevaluate some things, and then towards the end of this year, 2025, we'll see if we're going to have one again for 2026. I was, heading that up and doing the directing and also fishing, and it's kind of caught up to me, to be honest. And this year, I just want to concentrate on fishing, making more content, and just kind of competing again. So I'm going to be cherry picking a few events this year. One of them being, like I said, Havasu. I'll be out there in a couple of weeks. Going to be going out there with a group of friends, and I can't wait to see all my buddies out in Arizona. A lot of people from NorCal are coming out. Looks like Central Cal is coming out, and Arizona, and then people from all the way across the country. Drew Gregory is going to come stay at the house with us, and he's flying in. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun event. So I'm really looking forward to it. I always say this, but Steve and those guys do an absolute knockout job running the series and running the event. It's exciting to see. They haven't been out here since Clear Lake, which was like, I think I want to say like 5 years ago. So it's been about almost, I want to say 4 or 5 years since they've came out here to the West Coast. So trying to get those numbers up, trying to show out for that tournament. And tonight we're going to have Steve with us tonight. We're going to have Ramel on and also John Myers. And it's going to be a good conversation. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and write them in. If you guys are watching this after we go live, you guys can go ahead and write me a comment or a message, and we'll go ahead and get your answer or your questions answered for you guys as well. But let's see. I want to give a shout out to, I got a couple new sponsors this season for 2025. I came on with RoboWorm through GSM, so I'm super stoked about that. Anyone that's been following this channel for any amount of time knows that I throw a RoboWorm religiously, as most of us do. So super stoked to be on the team with them and seeing what's coming, into the future with that brand. And it's just an honor to be a part of that team. Same with Rely On batteries. I signed with the Navico group recently, so I'm with Lowrance and Rely On, which I'm really excited about as well. And like I said, 2025 is going to be fun. So I'm hoping to do some more content and get out on the water a lot more this year and just have some fun and compete. So anyways, let's go ahead and bring these guys on, and let's talk about Havasu. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comment below. Also, one last thing, we're going to be doing a live listener giveaway. So if you guys hang out till the end, tonight we're going to give away, I'm going to do like $100 worth of baits. It'll be like Yamamoto, Bill Lewis, Buckeye. I'll do $100 in one box and send you guys out a nice little bait package for tuning in with us tonight. So stay till the end, and we'll give that away towards the end. And you never know with Ramel being on the show, he could give away like 9 motors tonight. So we'll see how the night goes. But let's go ahead and bring in. We got John Myers in the group. We got Mr. Steve Owens, and we got Ramel. What's going on, guys?
Good morning.
What up?
Good morning.
Well, first off, I want to just kind of start off with Steve. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity out here on the West Coast. I know we kind of talked a little bit in the beginning of last year about doing something, and you were searching around for the right spot to land. And I think there's a lot of excitement about Havasu And I just want to say thank you and kind of give you the floor a little bit to kind of talk about Havasu, and we can kind of all chime in as well. So yeah, Steve, you want to kind of take it and talk a little bit about why Havasu and just a little bit about the event?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys letting us come on and talk. I love doing these things because we get to interact because we're always all on the road, and most of the time it's a tournament setting, so everybody's got their head down. Like you even came to Gunnersville, and I don't even think I got to see you other than registration. You know, you flew all the way from California and then went through all your luggage crap, getting all mixed up and everything. But yeah, Havasu, like you and I had discussed, a couple of years ago, is attendance is everything, or attendance is a lot, but it's not everything in the grand scheme of it, because we understand you have to build it, and it's not going to set the world on fire automatically. You have to continue to come out because there's still a lot of people that don't know that there's kayak tournaments in their area and stuff like that. And that was one thing I saw. I won't necessarily say like when we first started the Bassmaster Kayak Series, because I did it for that year, and then I had to step away and didn't have time to do things. And then when I came on full time, I started seeing so many new people fishing. That Hartwell tournament we had 2 full seasons ago, I counted, and there were like 30 people out of 170 that had never fished a kayak tournament before, and about 15 of those bought a kayak just to fish that tournament. And I worked for Dugout Bait and Tackle too, and we constantly, I'd say this past 2024 alone, we probably had a dozen or so that came through and bought a kayak to fish Georgia Bass Nation or something like that. And so that means we don't have to have 1,000. 12 is great. That's great. It keeps a local mom and pop running and brings new people to the sport. And so we had looked at the California thing, and each time a national had came out there, I don't think the scheduling, was done as clean as we all probably could have, just simply because, we don't know one another. I know very few people out there. I've known Ramel for 4 or 5 years now. And that literally was because I do purchasing and staff stuff at Dugout. And so other than that, I may have not ever crossed paths with him. And then I met you, and then James and them, and so you learn how to work on things together. And so that was the first thing I kind of did, was reached out to James and some other tournament directors out there and said, when I come, I want to make certain that we can all maximize and be efficient with a schedule. And so started looking at all the obvious ones, Clear Lake, Shasta, Havasu. I had looked at Powell and some others, and it took about 6 months to get a commitment from someone, and a lot of it was strictly because they just don't know us and what we do. And Bassmaster has a history with Havasu, and so how I do a schedule is I look at the body of water, number one, then we work on time of year, and then we work on a chamber, because I mean we have to have a host fee 100%, but I actually put that third on the list because if it's not a good fishery, there's no sense in going to it. I can't hype something if it's going to be a crappy lake. Now the fishing might not be great for all kinds of reasons, but it's got to be at least somewhere you want to spend your money to go to. And so we kept kicking things around and kicking things around, and Havasu committed a little pretty early. Go Lake Havasu out there; they've been great to work with, but I kind of just held it because I wanted to come as close to California as I could, because it's a big body of anglers, and people deserve that, and we'll figure out how to make all that work going forward. And so Havasu had committed to some other things with Bassmaster, and then obviously I knew Havasu. They don't have a lot of tournaments out there on that body of water, but I've only been in bass fishing 10 years, and almost immediately I saw an Aaron Martin's thing talking about jerkbait fishing out there, and that was my guy. He's about one of the only, probably the only fishing idol that I actually have. It was Aaron Martin's, and I always wanted to get to Havasu. And so my wife, I'll joke, she came through one day and she saw it on my computer screen, and she's got a poster or a picture in her room from when she was like a teenager of the Havasu Falls area, and she loved it. She said, "Hey, make sure we can go there," laughing, and I was like, well, I'm being serious. We're probably going there. And so after that, it was like, I got to make this happen. You got to make her happy. So she's going to drive with me out there. It's 30, almost 30 hours, and we're going to vacation our way back and go through the Grand Canyon and everything. But Havasu, having the lodging, uh, the fishing population, the body of water has a lot of good fish in it. The challenge was getting it on the schedule because they have so many of the like the yacht races and the big sailboats and stuff like that, and so I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to happen. I was about 90% ready to just say, man, this is just, I can't do anything out west. It's awful, but I can't get anybody to answer the phones because of the time period. And so date after date after date was already taken. They were very upfront. We've got our camera boat guy as part of the Arizona Bass Nation out there. And so he was helping guide me, and we all want to go prime time, but I couldn't because like I said, these other things were happening, and so the chamber reached out and was like, well, what do you think about coming, early? And so I reached out to the gentleman we've been working with, and and I love cold water fishing, and so y'all's cold water out there is 45 degrees, so I mean we're sitting here today, and it's 21 degrees, it's going to snow all week, but
Wait,
um,
45? That's really cold.
I
We don't really
know
see
it.
45.
I know. I think I checked Thursday. Well, we should get there Wednesday night or early Thursday. It's going to be 48 for the low, 71 for the high. So my wife's ecstatic about that. But so he and I started talking, and we understand as the landscape changes, we get more and more tournaments happening. We have to schedule in not ideal conditions or prime time, so to speak. But then I found out that lake actually does fish very well when it's cold, for you guys cold. And so I talked to him, and we started looking at other schedules to deconflict with the boat stuff and stuff that the chamber had going on. And this date was the only date in the entire year that would work. And that was pretty wild. But we're excited to come out there. Bassmaster, we were talking today. We're at like right at 70. We're very happy with that. I mean, if we get over 100, I think that's a very, very good sign of everything to come in the future. And I'm already working on 2026, trying to make certain. As we mentioned, this year my schedule spread out a lot. And I told everyone this event was for you all out there. You can't necessarily say, hey, this is part of my Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year run, because there's only one of these to you guys out there, and everything else is a long, long, long way from y'all. So, the other anglers can still travel to these others, but the schedule is very spread out, and that's unfortunate, but it just, that's just the way things go sometime. But already working on 2026. We're super freaking pumped to have Newport and Native on board. Ramel and I've talked, over the years, they've always supported all my Tennessee and Georgia Bass Nation stuff over here for going on 4 years now. And to have them involved, just a bunch of high integrity people, that's who you want to work with. And I know they're all coming. They're going to have a presence on Havasu. They're trying to come to another few tournaments, and it's been a long time in the works, but it's really, really good to have that kind of support from those kind of people because they'll hype and cross promote just as much as I hype and cross promote, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. Ramel, speaking on kind of Newport taking that on, how did that kind of like, can you talk a little bit about how it came about, or did it just kind of just fall into place, or was it something you guys have been trying to do for a couple seasons now, or did it just kind of happen this year?
I think it honestly, to tell you the truth, I think it was just gonna happen. I mean, like Bassmaster, when we first started to like kind of focus more towards just kayak angling and kayaks and small boats. That's like our core focus, 100%. We're not, going after big bass boats. That's not us. So we're focused 100% on the kayak industry and the small boat industry. So, we have worked with a lot of grassroots tournament series, Yakabas, like all the Georgia, Tennessee stuff. Like, this is basically partnered up with, you know, people that have reached out to us. We take a look at the series, and we just wanted to support the kayak anglers. And what better way than to do that than to support the local kayak tournaments, clubs, and so on and so forth. So, last year we did Hobie BOS. We were a title sponsor for them, and that worked really well. But I think Bassmaster for us, kind of looking at now, because it is small boats, and like when you start talking about, the John boats, the Tiny Boat Nation guys, like that kind of is like the upper end of where we're gonna end up going. We're not going anything you know, above that. So it just makes sense, and Bassmaster, like to me, like, just remember hate dating myself, but back in the day, like you very rarely like caught it on TV on Channel 7 or something like that, and
Yeah.
back in the day, and it wasn't but so to be a part of it, I think is a just a perfect natural fit at this point in time.
Yeah.
And we are blessed at Newport to have the support and have a lot of great customers in the nation, that have purchased our products, and we take pride in listening to our customers, and we make adjustments, and we're looking forward to see what's next in the future, and looking to grow with Bassmaster as well. So it'll be good vibes, man. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first saw Juan Nunez and all those guys talk about Bass was coming out to Clear Lake like that first time, and I was just like same thing like you just said. Like the Bassmaster logo just means so much to everybody who loves fishing. And to be able, like as a kayak fisherman, I never thought I could ever possibly be a part of bass, right? Like, I mean, like I would never be competing in a bass tournament because it's always been boats. It's always been bass boats. It's always been the opens. It's always been the elites.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those kind of like far-fetched dreams that we all have. And that first year when they came out to Clear Lake, I'm like, dude, like this is so incredible. Like I have to be a part of this. And like to be able to experience it from fishing one to qualifying for the big show, being able to see some of my friends and see these guys go up on the Bassmaster Classic stage and have that opportunity as a kayak fisherman is just it's
Yeah.
I can't express it enough on how much fun it is to just be a part of this. And Steve, we can kind of go into this for a second, but can you
Yeah.
tell everybody like specifically what they like each event? Some like you said, like they're not gonna be able to maybe qualify or to be able to be the Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year if they just fish one, but there's still an opportunity to qualify for the big one, right? Like it's top 5, correct?
Correct. It's top five each event, and then it's the top 50 from the Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year, and then it goes on into the Bass Nation stuff. And so we just
Yeah.
updated the site today to have all of those qualifiers because I gave everyone in each state till January the 1st to send me their Bass Nation qualifiers. And so we've updated that list. So where we're at is I think we have about 75 qualified from Bass Nation and 20 or 76 qualified from Dakota and the Opens. Because we get 25 from the open events because we had 5, and then Drew Gregory winning the championship, he gets to come. So yeah.
And I love how difficult it is to qualify. I mean, personally, as a competitor, I love that it's just not like this huge qualification list. Like when like I said, I was a part of the first one out in Texas, so I understand like the vibe and stuff, and it's just so fun to qualify for it. And then when you're there fishing it, you're like, dang, like I am fishing with like the top 150 or so guys in the whole entire country, and it's just like it's just such a fun opportunity, and I can't express that enough. And I just love being a part of it and having a chance to go after it because like I said, I qualified at Clear Lake, but I've tried again for 5 years, and it's like it's not easy, you know. And I know we don't have a lot of opportunities to, but there are still opportunities, and it's just not an easy event to qualify for, which makes it even more special when you do.
You
So
came in
Yeah,
fifth that year, right?
yeah, yeah. It was a little bit different back then, but still, like it's just
Who came in sixth
gosh.
that year?
Actually, no, that year, actually, the first year they did, I want to say it was top
It was a
10.
percentage of the field,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
top 10 or
Oh,
top
was it?
15%, something like that.
Something like that.
Because
Yeah.
Blanchard got the last spot that year, and I think he took like, I want to say he took like 15th or something like
15th,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So,
10% then.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
that was
there's
before they didn't have any opens. Or not no opens. They didn't have any Bass Nations then, so it was just a little bit different. So
there was one before that though. The very first one. That was the second one.
Yeah. We only had one. That was the one that Juan Nunez ran.
yeah, that was one.
That was the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Russ Snyder's one. Yeah, we only had the one.
The next year they started
okay.
the next year they started the Nations, and then that's when the Nations started too.
That's when
And then
Alex won that one.
that's when Alex won.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Bass Nation stuff has been grown to be a little more important, not more important, but more important than it was in the beginning. And we revamped it because I mean you don't want to discredit the Opens and the Angler of the Year standing. And so like you see it's about 50-50. You've got the Opens, the Angler of the Year, and the Nation. It's 75 and 75. And you know, just from not understanding the process, I've had people say, well, it's easier to qualify through the Bass Nation. Well, no, it's not. You don't have to travel across the country, but you're
Yeah.
still, you take, like, let's just say Arkansas. Arkansas has a heavily populated state. You know, their championship, it had, 40 something people in it. It's 10% of that championship field, and then you come down to like California, you guys had over 100 and something. You have to face off that. So it's easier financially to qualify sometimes, but you have to not look at what you get out of the end of it. You look at we're fishing the opens to compete. We're trying to win. Because I think every one of our payouts was 10 grand for first, and I'm working on that this year. I'm going to play with the numbers because in the past we've covered the Stripe is the same thing as a PayPal fee. A lot of people don't know that, but we use Stripe instead of PayPal now. Stripe's easier
Yeah, I
on
noticed
our
that when I paid.
yeah, and I just made those transparent because we've covered that over the last few years. Well, that's 3 or 4 grand, in Tourney X and Stripe fees, and so you can't do that. It's sustained. So we've slowly introduced that increase. Last year, I took it out of the payout. So it was a flat 250, but I took that fee out of the payout and it shrunk the payouts. I looked back and every payout was like, like I said, 2,500 to 3 grand could have went to you guys. And now you're still paying for it again because you're paying for it on the back end, on the front end though. So the payouts are going to increase in dollar amount. So I'm looking at trying my best, and don't hold me to it. I'm going to look at it. I would like for last place money in each tournament to take home 750. That's your entry fee, and then $500 after that. And the reason I'm doing that is because the top is still going to win a substantial amount of money, but we have to make sure that you at least get to recoup your gas and food and entry fee to get back and forth. So if you can break even on that, then I feel like a lot more people will be happy, and so I hope to be able to do that. I just don't want it to change things so drastic that it messes the system up. But the Bass Nation thing, you're qualifying through a championship, and in a lot of states, you're fishing a trail series to make it to that championship. So it's even more difficult. So it's about the same without the travel to qualify. And so we kept that by design because in the beginning it was 10% of the membership. Well, you take a state like here in Tennessee, last year we had 211 members. Well, that would have been 21 people from a 104 anglers championship. I mean, you're crazy to fish an open if you can just stay home and 20 something of you can qualify for fishing Chickamauga here, So, the boat world does it that way, but they have their qualifier in their state. Then they have the regional and all of that. So they get to shrink down their numbers. We don't. We go your Bass Nation Championship straight to the Bassmaster one. So I think that's a good landing spot is that 10%. Because if you look at the landscape of it, you've only got 2 or 3 states that are ever probably going to go over 4 or 5, and that I think you deserve that, because you fished a Bass Nation Trail against the top people in your state all year long.
Steve, are you keeping the trophies consistent? Are they going to be the same trophies for 2025?
Yep. We've still got. They're actually they shipped yesterday to Havasu. Since we're getting a bunch of snow here, I didn't want to get them delayed and me be gone. So yeah, they're going to ship them straight to
And then
Havasu. We've got the checks.
How many people will get the checks? What is it? What is that based on?
Trophies is 3 blue trophies. Fourth, fifth get the medallion. Big Bass gets a medallion, and the checks will always be the top 10 and Big Bass.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love to do a percentage, but I mean, then number one, that I can't figure that out and have them made when registration closes 3 days before the tournament. And number
Right.
two, then I got to be careful. I have a budget. I got to be careful with expenses, and Bassmaster's been fully transparent. They're every tournament management system likes to say, "Oh, we lose money every tournament." Well, we truly do in the kayaking one because we don't have a lot. We're just now growing a sponsor support base, and so now that we have that, there's more. Today there was several posts on the social media about the things, and so they don't really pinch pennies anything I need or ask for it immediately. I've got a new streaming camera they sent, just a couple of weeks ago. So they're all in on it. They understand it. It's a dynamic that they don't, they want us to have the same trophies. If we wanted the ones that they actually have on the elites, that's what Siddiqui and them had, but we decided we wanted our own, and to include, which we included Catch, because they do so much for the kayak sport, and Bass actually brought it up. They were like, well, do you have a kayak entity that makes trophies specific for you all so that you could, help promote that too? And Duke and them reached out and immediately, come up with those things. Dwayne Beatty does a freaking awesome job designing trophies. So yeah.
I got to when I saw him in Gunnersville, it's just like one of those things where it's like I have to get one of those. Like I want one of those so bad. Like they are just like so nice, so well made. The little Bass logo on the top, it just gives you all the feels. Like it's I'm telling you guys, once you guys see the way that these, like when we go to the board check and everything, and you want to talk about that, Steve? So we're gonna let's get a little bit more into the details of the week. So Thursday night we have the meet and greet. You want to shout that out really quick?
Yeah, we have an optional meet and greet just to kind of hang out because we all know each other. I'm so embarrassed when somebody comes up and starts talking to me like we know one another, and I realize I only know them from Facebook. I don't know their face, and so this is an opportunity to be able to do that. And so we're going to Loco's Bar, and I can't speak Spanish, or I don't speak Spanish. It's y'all know it's on there. It's Loco's Bar. It's something else. So we're going to go there, and Thursday we'll all get together and hang out. I already told Howie and all them about it, so hopefully the Newport guys will be there. And it's just what it is. It's just to get out and meet and greet, and then Friday when you all are done practicing, you got to be back to the ramp at 4:00, loading up, or waiting to get into the ramp. But get off the water, and you're going to come to the Lake Havasu Park there to the big pavilion. You'll see us set up, and we'll go through the board check. And I don't require you to stick around for the angler briefing because I know a lot of you are just coming into town, so you need to get back to your house to get rigged, ready, go to sleep. And so there'll be a YouTube live stream video for the angler briefing. If for some reason we don't have good signal and I have to record it, it'll be in your TourneyX email. So everybody, please update your TourneyX account. Make sure it's the actual email that you really look at, because a lot of people do not do that, and so they never get my emails. and so Friday's pretty low key, man. You just come in. Fisherman's Fellowship will be there for a voluntary, little fellowship worship service kind of thing. They're at all the events, and And then that's it, man. You go on your way. You're going to get your identifier cards for day 1 and day 2. And then that's it. Well, I'm not going to see you until Sunday when I'm handing you a trophy and a check. Everything, you all check your push notifications. And that's pretty much it. I try to keep it clean and concise, like I would want it if I were on the road. Chambers of Commerce need to see bodies, but I have explained to them that registration is where the bodies are. Awards are to be live streamed. If you're not cashing a check, you're heading home, and they get that. And so they're really appreciative of all of that. And that week is pretty awesome because I had no idea. That Volkswagen vans, like anything else, has a following. There's a buses under the bridge or buses at the bridge there. And dude, some of these VW vans, there's supposed to be like thousands of them. They take over for like 4 or 5 day thing when we're there. And there's some of these vans are like 150 grand.
Oh yeah, dude. There's
it's crazy.
Like the whatever. I'm not
11 window.
not 11 window, and there's like 8. I have a buddy that's all into that stuff. Just absolutely not. But anyhow,
yeah, dude, buses by the bridges. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see it, man. I'm excited. Like I said, I most blessed man in kayak fishing. I get to do this for a living now. I get to travel and see everybody because I'm a people person and I love meeting and everything. And it's given. I've always had a very good life, but doing this full time has just, I don't know, man. It's just so good because I just, like we all talk about mental health in the world today is awful, but we all get a little gloomy and cloudy days, man. But anytime I do, I stub my toe real quick and just say, shut up, man. You're fixing to go to Arizona and back. And now I'll be home like 2 days and then I got to turn around and go back to Florida. And so I was kind of the other day whining. I was like, man, I'm going to be home for 2 days. And then I thought, I get to be home for 2 days and then I get to drive to Florida and run a tournament and then fish and then come back home. So I just shut up right there. I was like, yeah. So it's been great. It's good. And again, it's pretty epic, and I can't wait to just continue everything on. It's like we were talking with Howie and Ramel and them and Tyler at Native, and then I used to be a part of the Native team years ago, Lambert and I and Sassy Dan, and when I started working for Dugout, I moved into a Hobie. I have an autopilot, Old Town. I love that autopilot. That thing is so freaking comfortable. It's a little slow with that Minn Kota, but man, it's freaking comfortable. But to mirror something Ramel said about 2 years ago, I'll have a Titan in a couple of weeks. I got to go up there pick it up from Tyler and them. But you don't need that drive, you don't have, and that's what I love about the advent of, like we all know, we have Minn Kota, Torpedo, Newport, and now the power pole motor and everything, and those are great. But now, like Ramel said, you don't have to spend $9,000 on a kayak and then add a motor. You can buy whatever it is. Like I plan on trying to get, and I'll have to call Ramel on the old new canoe stuff. I'm getting ready because we sell Native now at Dugout, Bait and Tackle. We sell Old Town, Hobie, and Native. But I want to look at the new canoe stuff, because I fished Drew's Kayak Angler Series here in Georgia last year, man. And I took a PA-14 with a motor off the back, which makes it now 17 feet. Right. And Dylan Lowry took me down shoals on the Okmulgee. I mean, if the water wasn't rushing so fast, he would have heard me call him so many bad names. I had to get out, tie my NRS straps, and for 15 minutes lower it over the shoals because it was like a 15 to 18 foot drop, and I couldn't turn because my motor would hit. And you know what the guy said? Well, I told you might not want to bring it. I said, Dylan, bro, you're a whitewater guy. You tell me what to do. Leave the motor home, and I would have because people don't know, but you can paddle a PA-14 all over the place, especially in moving current. It tracks really easy, and I love it. But then but I've had them all, and so I really love my Titan 12.5. I ended up for 3 years in a row. I was in one of those, and the main thing about a Native, man, is they're built. They're built like you want them to be built. The only thing anybody could ever complain about was some water coming up through the scupper holes, or back in the day, a cable breaking. The steering cables used to, but that was it.
Cable breaking, yeah.
Yeah, you go to Home Depot and spend $7.30 and rerun a different cable, and you were money.
You're going,
And I love Martin and them, but Burley Pro made a mint, doing stuff, making parts for that kind of stuff, and now especially when Ramel did the redesign stuff, you don't need all of that stuff anymore, and that's what Jamie and I were talking about at Dugout, because we do so much rigging. We couldn't wait to get our hands on a native, because now, you start drilling into certain kayaks and you start clipping cables, and you got to spend 4 or 5 hours re-rigging. And that native where you guys put those plates and everything is just money. It cuts off our labor charge, but it just makes it to where
it does.
It does. Now, Jamie's got a few words for you there, Ramel. But what it does, though, is, guess what? Now that Jamie's done this for 5 years, he's okay doing a quicker job now. It does, but it makes it so easy, and so I just can't wait. I got to get your steering put on it and everything, and I saw the cheap shots. People parting out. Oh, just do this or this. Well, just whatever. Just there's parts that other company makes that you could take a cardboard box and put duct tape on it, and you've got the same thing. So I just I'm sorry, that just pissed me off. I shouldn't go that route, but I just don't do that, man. Don't try to do stuff like that. That's
no, dude, your stuff's catching fire, dude. I'm seeing it. I mean, it's awesome, dude. That's cool.
That's like I tell Ramel, I wish to goodness he'd move out here to Tennessee, South Carolina, or Georgia. I mean, we need
a little bit out here, dude. We need a little.
No, don't take Ramel as a national treasure. Yeah, don't take it. Yeah. So, no, I don't mean to keep rambling on, guys. I just appreciate it. I love talking to y'all and doing everything. So,
well, to your point, I mean, it's great to see like all these kayaks that are coming out, man. Like rigging
we needed a refresher.
Yeah, like rigging a Titan X and like a bona fide PWR and the XTR 130. Like, dude, rigging those boats out is so easy. Like compared to what we had to do back in the day, I was like, oh my god, like I don't have to drill any holes, like
dude,
in anything,
cutting shafts on motors to get them.
I like all the people coming into kayak fishing now you don't know the struggle, okay? You don't know the struggle, but it's okay. That's
we were drilling the freaking quick release bracket straight into a kayak with New Canoe had a mount, but like the bona fides and stuff, we were just like using a little backing plate and just like it was tough. And then using lead acid batteries. Like if I had if I had like a 50 or 60 amp lead acid battery, dude, I was like the man, bro.
Yeah. And if you flipped and sunk, that put you in jail.
Like a 90-pound lead acid was like 60 amps, So
well, I think we needed it in the sport, because we all we're like we just talked about with the Volkswagen vans. I had a conversation with the Chamber of Commerce today for 2026, and they were talking about, they had no idea that people would spend that kind of money on RC cars. And I said, well, man, the first thing you need to know about a man is testosterone makes him waste money on every different thing he can think of. It just does. And so she was laughing, and I explained to her the kayak world. And so it made me start thinking about, well, like Ramel said, he hadn't used a pedal drive in forever. Jamie and I discussed it today. We still have plenty of big rigging jobs, and then people still love the $25,000 rig. But I think we've reached a point to where, like, the reason I don't have dual motors, number one, is safety. But number two, it's cool and it's great, but it's not an arms race. I think we reached a point, and I think we survived it in kayaking, where it was just too much for people. They kept seeing the flashy rigs like we all can build, and like let's just be honest, most of us on here, we get demo stuff all the time, so it's not like we're paying for all of these crazy things we got, or if we are, we're getting them heavily discounted where a lot of people can't. Well, they got to see that, and that's all they saw. So it's kind of like Alabama football. People just got sick of it, well, then when Ramel and them do a redesign on this kayak, New Canoe does a redesign. You realize what you can do it on Outback. You realize what you can do it on Old Town. people started realizing, we don't have to do all of that. So you guys made the barrier for entry for motorized kayaks super, super great. And we needed that kind of competition.
Yeah, no, it's the transition, like it's now you're seeing kayak manufacturers actually building kayaks for motors, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's the natural progression, and
Like
it's just
what's a paddle kayak?
Yeah.
shoot. I mean, honestly, like every kayak manufacturer that's out there that's building a kayak, if you're not having a motor in mind that somebody's gonna want to put a motor on their kayak, then that's a
Exactly.
whole different level. I mean, you're talking then maybe you're talking like the recreationals or the ocean kayaks, and that's a whole different space in itself.
Yeah.
But like within our
It-
space, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and if you don't have like, there's so many smart people out there that are making aftermarket brackets and adapter plates, and you got your one objectives, your yak gadgets, all these other brands that um you know um, will build stuff for this so you can do it. And I've always said, kayaking is, kayak fishing, rigging is always going to be DIY, like at its
Yeah.
core, like 100%. I mean, you're gonna have the guys that the one thing about the Old Town Autopilot that I loved, it was turnkey, right? It
Yeah.
was like you drop a battery in it and then you go and you fish. You have spot lock.
That's why that took
And it
off
did
for
well.
sure.
It did
Yeah.
well. But that whole the whole everything else but the motors and stuff, it's all DIY. So you got your black packs where you put you now it's like, track packs, black packs, short stack,
Side pack.
side
Full-
pack, front pack, whatever. So much stuff, and one thing that I always discuss, like people ask me about, I like doing custom stuff, and we always talk about like everybody's kayak is a one-off, because nobody is ever the same. So every kayak is a custom kayak. It doesn't really matter like what it is, because you're gonna put things where you like them.
Yeah.
Just because, let's say, Greg likes his net on the left side on the front doesn't mean you're gonna like it. And I've had so many people come in and be like, "I want to build just like that." And I'm like, I guarantee you, I'm going to build a kayak just like that, and then when we're done, we're going to meet 2 or 3 more times, and then you're going to change it to how you like it.
Yeah.
That's typically how it goes.
And then you're going
Um,
to end up with a box in your garage full of everything you took off of
oh,
it.
yes, you're gonna end up with Romel's garage with like boxes of just stuff like everywhere.
Well,
Like,
like my build I did. How quick did I call both you guys? I called Steve
Yeah,
and
dude.
you, saying, "Yeah, dude, it looked great on Facebook, but she was going down quick."
right. But then
I've
we
definitely
all
lightened up since then. Now I have
know the
one
eagle
live
eyes, right?
scope,
One live scope.
one live
Yeah,
scope, one
yeah, yeah,
motor.
yeah. People tend to.
Simple.
It's all fun and games when the water's nice and calm, but once that water gets a little rough, it changes the outlook a little
And I
bit.
think that's the thing,
Yeah.
Steve, that's the thing, because I get people still asking me like, "Man, I wish everybody would allow two motors, blah blah blah." But at the end of the day, like we talked about too last year, is you put two motors in the wrong kayak with an inexperienced person, it could get really sketchy really
A lot of
quick. So
trouble.
Yeah.
that's where the safety comes in, and
Well,
I think it's a very wise decision to still have the one motor on your
Yeah.
kayak
I
for everybody's safety for
I
now.
think I think we need to really take a look at, just for me, it's just because we can doesn't mean we should. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
and
you,
the
you
problem
start
is
you
is
start making people not want to get into fishing anymore.
sure.
Yeah.
And Steve, you mentioned one thing that I'll bring up, and I don't care, but like the power pole move. Let's talk about
Mhm.
that motor real quick, right? We're talking 36-inch shaft motor. Great. I mean, don't get me wrong. The technology behind it's awesome. Like, it's built really well, but it's $5,000.
Yeah,
Okay. Here's my issue with that motor. It weighs 50 pounds. People will tell me, "Oh no, it weighs 42. It weighs 48." And I'm like, it still weighs 50 pounds. Let's call it what it is. After brackets, all the stuff that you do, okay, it's 50 pounds of weight on the nose of a kayak. And then it's 24 volt or 36 volt, depending on what you want to power it with. If you choose to do 36 volt, that motor becomes an 1800 watt motor, which is more than a 3-horse equivalent in the rear. So to me, like, the problem here is you got weight and you got a lot of power. So what happens is if you're going over a wake and your bow goes down, because if it has 50 pounds, it won't recover. And then you have a lot of power in the front that's going to just keep pulling you down. So it's, it's one of those things, again, like, just because we can doesn't mean we should. And I think we need to really take a look at, like, you know, keeping the limits within safety, like, for sure. And
Yeah.
the dual motor thing, 100%. Like, it's, people ask me all the time, is that, oh, dude, I want to do dual motor. I'm like, dude, I love to run one or the other depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm fishing Clear Lake, or if I'm fishing somewhere that I know I'm going to be offshore and I need to stay on spot, or if the conditions are windy or high current or heavy current or whatnot, and I know I need to stay in my spot lock for sure, 100%. Right. That's not to say that I couldn't do the same thing with a rear motor with foot steering, because I just put myself into the current or into the wind and set the speed and control myself that way. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's different ways to do it. But there definitely has to be a, and I'm hoping, at one point in time, it's going to take one incident to really bring attention to something like that. And we don't want to get there. It's very
Yeah.
sad when we hear about that stuff. So we
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely want to.
my first kayak, I had the biggest trolling motor I could find. I put on the back, and I swear that thing weighed 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Plus, I had an acid core battery, and
Oh,
I
dude. Yeah, for
couldn't
sure.
figure out where to put that battery. And
Yeah.
I had a Hobie 12. I was like, it doesn't fit underneath the seat. Can't put it in front of me. Can't put it in the very front. So I
Yeah.
stuck it in the back. And then all my tackle, had to go towards the front,
Sure.
and the bracket that I had used, which was the Hobie bracket, it broke the very first time I took it out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I hadn't looked at it, I would have ran it again until the trolling motor flew off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, that DUI, when they first come out, the motors and the
Yeah.
kayaks that were for fishing and, getting from point A to point B with the motors on them, it was dangerous then. And nowadays, you limited it with 3 horsepower, which is a great idea. And then, like you said, the more weight you put in the front, the more trouble you get into,
Yeah.
and then
When it
the
gets rough.
same with when in the back, you see people, they put everything in the back, and their boat is literally underwater in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. It's in the back.
And
But
I'm like, you know,
yeah,
you-
it could get dangerous real fast. But
and then one other thing too is I know certain trolling motors have kill switch, and other ones
mhm.
do not. So, what point is it going to, or what's it going to take to have it where everybody has to have a kill switch on your trolling motor?
Yeah,
You
more
know
videos like Gene going in
what
the going in the water.
Falling in the water with their
Yeah,
controller in the boat still, yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, we're still growing. We've come a
Mhm.
long ways, and kayak is a growing business. It's not
Yeah,
like it's fading out. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You
for
know,
sure.
yeah.
Hey,
Definitely.
hey, Steve, kind of switching gears back to Havasu, and then we got about. I kind of like to keep it around under an hour, so we got like 10
Yeah.
minutes left. Um, One thing to bring up to everybody's attention, I asked Steve myself the other night, but just to clarify for everybody that's watching and listening, you only need California license or an Arizona license, right, Steve? So you don't need both. I've had some people asking me if we need both, but one or the other, right?
If
Yeah.
you
With
live
it
in
being,
California,
say again.
if you live in California,
Right.
right?
I thought, well, and I will get another clarification, but when I spoke with a gentleman the other day in Arizona there, and it was reciprocating. So Arizona, if you're on Havasu, you just have to have the Havasu, So that's what was explained to me. If you're in Arizona and you're fishing Lake Havasu, then you're covered. And if you're in California, they will allow you to fish Havasu. And again, I've been wrong a lot in my life, but I don't mind.
So
I'm typing it up here.
so anglers from California, we just need our California fishing license, is what I've been hearing from a lot of people that even fish bass boat stuff there. So that's, I don't know. I've just been hearing that California guys are good if you have a California fishing license.
Yeah, that's what was explained to me. It's
Yeah.
like if you Google it, it's like, persons fishing from land, a boat, or other floating object carry a valid Arizona or California fishing license.
Yeah.
And then people coming from out of state, like Drew and those guys, should just get an Arizona one.
Sure, like me, if I'm coming from Tennessee and I'm fishing Georgia, I got to buy a Georgia one.
Yeah.
And so pay attention to your auto renew, because for about 6 years I paid for Florida, Louisiana, Virginia, and South Carolina. Bam, 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 bam. $1,000 almost. Like, auto renew will get you.
I haven't looked, and I'll have to do it, and I'll have to see what the regulations are for the boaters.
Ben Risty's saying yes. He's from Arizona. So, John DeMonet's in here. Non-Cali guys, yes, buy the AZ license. So
yeah, well, Arizona State Parks, Arizona State Parks literally says, if you're in a boat or floating object, possess or carry a valid Arizona or California fishing license. But
and then go ahead,
I'm going to message the park ranger again. We discussed this, but I will, not to say he's wrong, the gentleman that just spoke up, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and then another thing that was brought up too is make sure that you guys are paying attention to your times, because we're going to be running on Arizona time, right, Steve?
Yep, that's it. Mountain time.
And I've heard from guys who fish there a lot that you could literally, let's just say you launch from Windsor or that side of the lake and you shoot across to the California side, your phone will change times. And then you think you're like, oh my gosh, I still have 6 hours left. Really, you have 5. And it could be really detrimental to your experience, because it's very clear.
I'd probably do something like that, I think.
Arizona time. Make sure you got. I heard a trick today from JD, who's on here too. He's gonna put like a little like watch on that has like no, what is it, like
a wristwatch?
Yeah, just like a manual watch where you could. That's a good hack, dude. A manual watch. Set it when you get to Arizona at 2:00, whatever time, and then you
most
got your
people don't know what that is, by the way.
You're gonna get a big Flavor Flav clock.
That's it.
Dude, like think about it. Your graphs will probably automatically change too.
Yeah,
like I feel like I just saved at least one guy's tournament right now by bringing that up.
You probably saved mine, because
mine too.
Helped you do that.
Daniel Davis, y'all know Sassy Dan. We were fishing gunners for 1 year, and it cost him a check and a state championship spot. So we're like, he's my partner. So we run all the tournaments together. So we're done, and I'm driving home, and he's my brother. We talk, during, because you can use phones in those tournaments. We talk all tournament long. We're just carrying on about whatever. And I was like, "Hey man, where the hell are you?" And he was like, "I'm loading up, fixed to come to check in." I was like, "Buddy, we're done. We're heading back home." He's like, "What?" His watch band broke and fell in the lake, and his fish finder didn't switch. So, it cost him a couple $100 and a state championship spot. And mine and Lambert's grassroots club, TVKA, which is what we were fishing, 3 state championships in a row. We had to disqualify one of our own guys because he cast it too early. So we started calling ourselves Team Timex. And 1 year, everybody just about literally had a $20 Timex, like
Timex
you guys
watch
said.
from Walmart or something.
It happens.
Dude, I'm gonna bring back the G-Shock, dude. You don't know nothing about G-Shock.
There you go.
Dude, that's all my wife wears. She's nuclear police or whatever. She walks around with this big old G-Shock, and
I'm gonna go get a G-Shock.
I gotta go see if I have my Swatch watch in this. You don't know
Man,
nothing
I
about
sent
it.
AJ a picture the other day. That nostalgia is real. They come
It
out with
is
this
real.
new purple, blue, neon thing, and I almost bought it. And I said, "Man, am I crazy for looking at this?" And he said, "Buddy, you get what
Oh,
you want."
dude. No
I
way,
said,
dude.
"I said
That
that's a
looks
no,
cool.
isn't it?" He said, "Yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
that watch." I said,
Just wait till
"Man."
you, Steve-O, just
Yeah.
wait till you see my new trailer, then you'll like it.
I saw just the video of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll
that was
like it.
pretty slick, man. I can't wait to see that. I'll have to get because we're supposed to bring them in pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Yeah. All I got to see was Abby after he busted his tires. So
Oh,
I
dude, I
can't
heard
wait.
about
Yeah,
that.
I
He
did get to
spent
see
his
them at the Big Bass
yeah.
250 at the Eco Fishing one. I got to see them up there at their shop. Those things are legit. I don't want to have to move them by hand, but those things are legit. Yeah,
They are.
that's a real
Yeah.
deal.
I got the single. I'm not
You're not,
cool.
not
I'm
doubling down.
yeah. So I'm
Hey,
just a solo
Yeah.
guy. So.
so if anybody's listening right now, if you got any questions for Steve about Havasu, go ahead and throw in the comments. Looks like we've had like 25, 30 people watching pretty consistently throughout the show. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. But any last touches on Havasu? Actually, let's do a kind of a fun one and maybe interactive a little bit. We'll start with John. John, what do you think it's going to take to win 2 days on Havasu, January 18th and 19th? What do you think it's going to win total 2 days?
Let's see. 18 times 5. That's, let's see,
90?
40, 90. Yeah, 90. Another 90. I call it 181 3/4.
181 3/4. What about you?
If
What
this
about
is
you,
good.
Ramel?
I've never fished there. I know it's gonna be tough, but I know people are gonna swing smallmouth. I'm gonna go 174.
Steve?
80.
I got 180.
180?
180.
Yeah, I say 180. Yeah.
Let's hear what the chat has to say too.
With this level of people, you start looking, man. There's hammers and like it's yeah. Somebody's going to get 90. I'm going to say.
Oh, look at Jonathan,
I
175.
know.
I'm changing it here. In
And
my mind, I'm
so
getting
you
so
guys,
high. 92 and 89. Do the math on that. 92 and 89. 92 plus 89, 181.
180.
So that's what I
what
said.
I said.
181 is my final answer.
181 1/4.
Yeah.
Dang, Michael
So,
Lavoie, 189.
189.
Bag.
woo.
We got 194. Dang, we got some high
Golly.
hopes.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is what sucks.
Chris
It's like
Harris,
I want to get on. I
185.
can't fish out there because I can't get on y'all's tournament water. So I'm just like, man. So
193. Whew.
Dang, that's a bag.
Honestly, I think for me, I think I'm gonna.
JD would know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he really thinks it might be a little bit tough out there. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm in good
I'm
company.
gonna kind of
here.
go
I
with
call
JD a little bit. I'm
174.
gonna go like 178. I'm gonna go like sub
A little
180.
above that. Oh,
Yeah,
there you
sub
go.
180.
Oh,
To
gee,
qualify,
Gilbert Garcia. Look at what he put up.
165. Hey, Gilbert better show up. I know he's watching right now. Gilbert, you need to get out here, dude. Come on, you got nothing better to do. Anthony's gone, so you don't have to worry about taking you don't have to worry about taking second place. Your son's gone. You need to get out here, Gilbert. I'm calling you out, bro. Okay, come on, dude. 180.25. Bradley Coolin's another local hammer out there. He's saying 174. Whew.
Dude, what's up, dude? I don't even know that place. Like, I'm right there with the guys that know. So
y'all need to pump it up. People are not going to show up.
go.
They'll be thinking we're fishing Smith Lake for 16
No, but
inch
honestly,
spotted bass.
this is my thought about it. Okay,
Yeah.
I like at Gunnersville, dude. A limit meant nothing. Like if you had a limit, good for you. Move on, you're gone. Like at Gunnersville. Yeah, but I kind of like those tournaments, and maybe this is just from being around here because the fishing's tough in SoCal. But I enjoy those tournaments where you got to grind to get that 5 fish limit. Like I enjoy that, honestly. Like it means something when you get your limit And if that's the way this one turns out, it's going to be a lot of fun because it's going to be really tight. I feel like there could be that one person on day one where that always kind of happens. Someone will throw up like 97 day one and then like 75 on day two or something like that too. But
Dude,
I
don't
enjoy
care.
I enjoy it.
I want to catch a
Yeah.
stud smallmouth, dude. That's all I want, dude.
Right.
I don't care.
But don't
It's
you,
Yeah.
Steve, do
like
you
a
do you hear me on
3-pound
that? It's
smallie,
kind of
dude.
fun to watch the tournaments when they're like really tight and like it means something to get that limit. You know what I mean?
Oh, it does. And then like I've got some checks and trophies, and most all of them are from grinders. You know, if it's a slugfest, it's like I know how to fish, but I don't know the biology of all of these things and the topography maps like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got to be a grinder for me to do well. But it is fun. But man, there's just nothing like watching people knock it out of the park. You know, especially when you're not fishing against them. It's nice because you know, real quick. But hey, before we get off here, everybody shoot me messages. Where would y'all like to go when we come back in 2026 somewhere out there? And kind of keep in
That's
mind we need
easy.
population. What do you say, Rebel? Let's just do
You
round robin. us
you
three.
know what everyone's gonna say. Stop, dude. It's gonna be Clear Lake. I mean, come
San
on.
Vicente, San Vicente. Just kidding.
Lake Folsom.
Lake
Folsom.
Lower Otay, Lower Otay.
It's gonna be
No,
Clear
just
Lake.
kidding.
I mean,
Yeah, Clear Lake is
it's gonna be
it's
Clear
just
Lake.
it's such a
Oh,
fun place.
you know, depending on the year, Shasta. I think a lot of people miss fishing Shasta. Shasta.
Steve, could you kind of say like Shasta was kind of close, was it not, or was
It
it
was
kind of
pretty close, but with Bassmaster, you know, we always historically everybody works with chambers of commerce and tourism
Yeah.
bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
something I'm trying to nail in and drive in is we've got to figure out how to do it somewhere else because, like, let's just say a place like Gunnersville, they literally have 25% less of their budget than they did in this past year, and two kayak tournaments brought numbers like crazy. Three boat tournaments brought ridiculous revenue in, but their budget got cut. And so, like on Shasta, there's a marina and another business that typically pay to bring in. I'm forgetting these trail series because I'm not out there with you all, and they will cover those host fees. And so, Bassmaster's just learning that kind of stuff, and they've brought in because we've brought I don't know, probably 10 new bodies of water to Bassmaster because of us researching kayak stuff. And so they love what we're all doing. But Shasta was very close.
Look into Don Pedro or Lake New Maloney's.
Yeah, New
Maloney's.
I did reach out.
Maloney's,
yeah. The reason why I say that, they have a Chicken Ranch Casino, and they just built a brand new facility up on the hill. And both those lakes are close to that. So, I mean, there's accommodations, and they probably would, accommodate a lot more than you would think. So it wouldn't hurt to look into it.
Honestly,
yeah, you're exactly
Steve,
right.
Steve, I think Havasu is an awesome fishery too. I think it's a good spot. I think certain times of the year too could pull, and a little bit more heads up too. I think it would be a little bit easier for some people to make that one, because the reason I like Havasu is because it's in a really it's in a location where we're seeing like people signing up. There's the other half of the country that are still coming. I mean, we got a lot of out of state anglers that are still making it too. So Havasu's if it goes good and you guys have that relationship with Havasu, that's still a good spot. I think
it is. Yeah.
I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
So at the Chicken Ranch Casino, there's Lake McClure, Don Pedro Lake, and New Maloney's Lake. Now, if you want to throw a wild card out there and have a tournament each day at each lake, you know what I mean? And then
you
finish
get my
up.
nuts cut off doing people like that.
The bass is going to be like, what do you mean free lake?
I've been watching these fish all week, and now you're taking me off of them. But it's a good idea.
I would love to say the Delta. I think the Delta would be awesome, but I mean that would be tough.
My neighbor's a retired carpenter for a bunch of stuff out there. He grew up on the Delta, and I take him out and fish now here on Chick, and I love listening to everything he's got to say. And so,
I'm sure
yeah,
Russ
but
has told you about. I mean, Russ probably fished the Delta a lot when he
oh
was
yeah,
out there.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
like everybody knows, like what the challenge this year was, like what Johnny just said. They introduced me to those people, but it takes about a good month and a half to develop that
right.
relationship. And
Yeah.
so I did that, but it wasn't time enough to close an event because other things got booked. So 2026 should be a whole lot easier. I've already
I would say
you know-
Shasta, Clear Lake, Delta, Havasu.
Yeah.
That would be like,
Well, Newport HQ is literally
San
like
Pedro.
10 minutes from the Delta. Like,
and I know you're only 2 hours from Clear Lake, I think too. So
Oh, yeah.
two and a
We're
half.
very
So yeah,
close.
we already talked about that. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's what we were talking about. So that's priority number one. I want to have. I may not be able to announce it, but by June, I want the 26 schedule done. So
There's
so
always
Steve's
Lake
already
Oroville.
hinting. Steve's already hinting where he's coming back.
yeah, I've got a plan for that. I'm going to. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
And
Lake
unless they
Oroville's
they'll have to
cool.
tell me no. So.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
heard it
Lake
here
Oroville
first.
has a bunch of casinos there too that might.
Yeah.
You know,
Oroville.
Yeah,
too,
Ben, we
yeah.
were wanting to come to Havasu in February, but it was already booked. A few things going on. So yeah, so it's just where we had to land because
That's
we
a home-
understood.
That's a hometown
Mhm.
boy saying that. He's got some
That's right.
juices end
Yep.
of February right there.
Yep. I did find out. Yeah, there's one place like Mesquite Bay, and it'll all come in your practice email. Mesquite Bay, you can't have a motor in the water to fish inside that area. It's a no motors only, no motor
Yeah.
area. But I talked to the wildlife out there, and they said as long as before you pass the buoys, if you pull your motor out and you're man powered, they'll allow you to have the motor on there still, but you can't have it in the water. There's cameras. You'll get a ticket. You'll get disqualified. And you're disqualified from the event. The casino marinas in those areas, those are strictly no fishing. And I'll make sure all this information's out there. So there are some restricted areas, but it's for the most part, man, it's pretty wide open out there. And I think what I'm going to do is I've never done it because I get too nervous about the things, but I've got a good body of people that help me with these tournaments. I want to get on the camera boat Saturday and get out and explore and see all of y'all. And so, yeah. So, but we got the camera boat for 2 days instead of day two. It's day 1 and 2 going into this season. So everybody
Awesome.
brush your teeth and comb your hair because we're coming.
No bedhead. Yeah,
Yeah.
Make sure you pull your pants up.
Make sure you got your PFDs buttoned and up
right.
if you're taking a whiz, turn your back because
Pull your pants up.
Right. Make sure you do a 360 check before you take a whiz. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Don't paint no rocks out there. Don't.
Those kayak chairs, dude, they show that ass crack a little bit sometimes, bro. Let's be
You gotta
real.
watch
Sometimes
it,
you get
man.
too lazy
Especially-
to
you got love handles like me. That shirt will ride up.
You got to hide the muffin top.
I'm gonna buy a body suit. I'm gonna buy a body suit that snaps in the crotch. That's what I'm gonna do. That way I don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna
Man, I
be
appreciate y'all letting us out
it's
here.
gonna be pretty chill. It's gonna be pretty chilly out there in the morning. So you guys better
Yeah.
bundle up out there. It's gonna be cold for us West Coast guys.
Coast
40
guys, yeah.
45 is freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're wearing like big puffy jackets and electric glove, like all the hand warmers and all that
Electric
stuff at
jackets.
45 degrees, and Steve's laughing at us while we're out.
Yeah, we're saying it's 21 right now.
Yeah.
It just, I can't wait for snow. I want good snow for 3 days, and then so
Hey Steve, what's snow?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
volcano ash, but it's cold. So there you go. Y'all can relate to that, right?
There you go.
Right.
All right. Let's wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find Steve on social media, your contacts on Tourney X and stuff like that too, Steve, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Reach out to him. He responds to everything. And once again, appreciate you coming out, Steve. It's gonna be so
Thank y'all,
fun.
man. I'm looking forward to it.
Ramon, appreciate
Yeah, I'm
you
pumped,
too.
y'all.
Heck yeah. Ramel, Newport, we're stoked. You guys, companies like you keep us going.
Love it.
We're really excited. I'm excited to see what we got cooking with you guys over there. We'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna say too much yet, but we'll see how it goes. anyways, let's go ahead and give some stuff away. I'm gonna put together like $100 box. It'll have some Bill Lewis crankbaits, jerk baits, some Yamamoto stuff, and some Buckeye stuff too. I'll put some stuff in there. $100 worth. So let's let me. It's been a little bit since I've done this, but I already got the other thing pulled up. So if I go share screen here, let's see, window, Chrome tab, there. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
So do hashtag Havasu, and I'll go ahead and pick a winner for tonight for you guys that are listening. Looks like we got like 20. It's been bouncing around, but 20 to 25 people. So hop on in if you want your chance. $100 bait box basically with some good Yamamoto stuff, Buckeye and Bill Lewis. I'll throw some RoboWorms in there too. So do hashtag Havasu for your chance to win $100 box for listening and joining in tonight. If I go back like this, can you guys still see that? We can still see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Hashtag.
Yeah, I really appreciate Bassmasters coming out back west. We missed you guys.
Yeah, I wanted to I wanted to come last year, but we had to get an attendance base built to pitch it, and now they understand. So yeah, we're good. I appreciate y'all and Kong doing the California Bass Nation and that event being successful. And I showed them the Midwest numbers to that championship, and they were like, okay, let's give it a go. So thank y'all for doing that out there too.
Yeah, it was a fun event too.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey for sure, but we
Yeah.
got Steve knows it's been a journey, but we got
it keeps us from getting bored. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll let
all
y'all
paid
handle
off.
the rest of it. And thank you, and I can't wait to see y'all at Havasu.
All right, we'll give it a little bit longer. Got 15 in there so far. There's 23 of you guys watching. So, Steve just bounced. He's like, "See ya."
Yeah, it's late for him.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. All right,
Yeah.
let's give it one more little second, and then I will do the draw. $100 GSM outdoor box. All right, and if John or Ramel entered, you're not. I'll run it again.
I didn't.
Did not
I thought about
enter.
it,
Did not enter. Thought about it, just like John, but no, I did not enter.
And then same thing. One time I think we gave away like a battery or a motor one time, like a motor guide one time. And I did this on the live stream, and my father-in-law won, and I was just like, dude.
Uh,
But it was legit, bro. But it was just kind of like, man, like
That's how it is sometimes.
yeah.
So I think it's called the luck of the draw.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna
Yeah.
close it out. Let's go ahead and see who won. $100 box. Here we go. Draw, right? There you go.
I saw my name in there. See?
Oh,
That's
John.
not me.
John, I know. I thought it was John Myers. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not
John
me, by the way.
Meyer.
John Meyer. Yeah.
Congrats, dude. If you're in the
That's-
chat, just say I'm here. Go ahead and throw that in the comments really quick, John, so I can know that you're still with us. John, throw it up there.
I spelled my name different. But it says the
I know. I
same.
was watching him comment the whole time. Like, is John commenting on this thing? All right, yeah, buddy. Thank you guys. You're saying my last name right. Yes, sweet. John Meyer, then, right?
John Meyer.
Meyer.
Or Meyer. Okay.
Mhm.
Meyer.
Awesome.
Alrighty, well, congrats, John. Hey, John, do me a favor, either on Facebook since you're watching on there, or on Instagram, Basslands Fishing. Just shoot me a DM saying that you won and your address and stuff, and I'll get that box out to you.
Sweet.
Alrighty. Well, let me stop. Let's do this. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay. So, again, I appreciate you guys coming on talking with us, and everybody that listens tonight. I know it's kind of short notice. I literally only put it up like an hour ago, like saying we're gonna go live tonight. So for you guys to all hop in and hang with us tonight, I appreciate you guys. And Ramel, John, I hope you're able to make it, man. I'm gonna be praying for you.
Thanks, man.
Hopefully you
Yes,
can
sir.
be out there with us. But let's go have some fun out there, dude. I'm so stoked. I literally am like counting the days down. I'm like, please just let it be Wednesday already. Please just let it be Wednesday already so I can go to bed and bounce. Because
It's gonna be good times,
Are
dude.
you leaving Wednesday or Thursday?
I'm gonna try to leave like Thursday morning. We'll see
And
how
fish-
early, but
and just pre-fish on Friday?
I'll try to pre-fish Thursday a little bit, and then Friday as well, and then I'll probably come home Saturday night or Sunday night or Monday morning.
Yeah.
Romel, when are you getting there?
I have to check my itinerary, but
TBT.
yeah,
TBD.
well, we'll be out there hopefully sometime soon.
Did you
But
sign up yet?
no, not yet. No, I'll
Okay.
sign up before the end of the week. Yeah, we are.
Like I said, dude, they got a little surge to like 70. So
I know.
just
I
keep
know.
ticking it, guys. Just keep
Listen.
ticking it. But we heard it first.
Yeah.
We heard it here first, I think. He's pretty much saying he's coming back next year, which is exciting. So
Yeah.
Good news.
Like I said, this tournament's for us. I mean,
yeah,
because like you said, this is literally out of the reach for AY. So this is
yeah.
literally, our thing. So let's make it big.
Let's make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go show out. All right, guys. Well,
Right.
that's gonna be it for tonight. I guess we'll see y'all at
Hold on,
Havasu.
one more thing.
Oh,
Okay. What do you think the fish are going to be doing, Shane?
Ooh.
I think it's like gonna be really early pre-spawn. So, man, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I feel like there's gonna be those minnow shakers. Those minnow shakers are gonna be shaking their little minnow, and that could be the ticket, because I feel like some of those fish are still gonna be out deep, suspended. But if they're pre-spawn, then I don't want to give up too much, John. Come on, dude. We're competing here, bro.
I'm hoping for shallow reaction bite.
No?
I don't want to fish deep. Like no, I'm like I just want to fish fast. So we'll see.
There's
See what
always fish shallow. Always.
happens. I hope so.
Or
Hope so.
they might be out in the middle of the lake, but they're shallow.
I sure hope so. That's my game
I
plan.
hope so. That's what we're sending. So I mean, but I just want my goal to catch a limit and get a big old smallie. Like that's
Right.
I'm
Oh,
golden there.
what does Brandon Polinick call the smallmouth? It's like he calls it something like rocket, a brown
Yeah,
bottle
I forget
rocket
the
or
name,
something.
bottle,
Something
yeah,
like
something like that,
it's something like that, where those things just launch out of the water. So
Oh, dude, I
yeah.
can't. I like smallmouth, and they're such a beautiful fish. I mean, you
Yeah.
just love the markings on them, like the stripes on the face, and like they just
And those Havasu ones look mean, dude. They
they
look
look
like
gnarly.
oof.
They look gnarly. Yeah, for
They
sure.
look
They look like
big.
heart. I call those ones too like heartbreakers, bro, because
Yeah,
you're probably gonna lose one. It's probably gonna
Heartbreak.
spit a hook right
yeah,
at the boat.
right. Oh
They're
gosh,
going to
but
text you, no way.
yeah. Regardless, I think it's gonna be a good time. So we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We hope to
Regard-
see you out there, Johnny. All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
we
Let
hope
me
to see
know
you
as
out,
soon as
John.
you know, okay?
All right, you bet. Appreciate
All
you
right.
guys.
All
All
right.
right. All right. As
All right.
always, guys, keep your thumbs ripped, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.